Okay, so back where I was left off, because the only reason why at that point that I called out to my dad is because usually that's how I am when I'm in the car. Because I remember saying that I want to be in. I'm in the car. I want to be in the. We're in the car. I want to be in the car, and I want the car. And then I think my dad was like, "Okay, fine, then you in the car." And then I was like, and then I played out this whole thing, and then he said, "You know what? Enough of this. We're not in Oregon. We're not in the car. We're not gonna go through this again." And my dad was like really, really stern, and I was like, I don't want him with, like, I don't, like, I was consistently saying, I don't want to, because I legitimately want. Okay. And I know I said this in court, and I know I said, oops, rewind, don't remember this, but like they said, they always gonna remember them now, so whatever. So I remember telling my dad, you know the rules, you said, if as long as it's him, you never say when, you never say where, you said as long as it's him, and he says it to my face, and he confirms that he agrees with me. And he was like, agree with you on what? You remember? And I said, agree with me not to love me. When I said, I don't love me, and he said, fuck you, I don't fucking love you, I specifically told it to his face, I take that as an agreement, I take that as an exception. And I was a little girl. And I was standing in the field and I said Walmart, but Waikea. And I told him, I'm serious. I was at Waikea. He was on the hill. I was on the side of the hill. I was facing the tree. His back was the tree. He was facing the post. And I know he agreed with me. And I specifically said it like this too. You agree, right? We in agreement right here, right now, starting today. Isn't that right, Kanani Abdullah? And he said, yeah, we in agreement, because I would fucking never love you. He said never. That's for all eternity. So on that day, I won. That's the reason why my father to this day has to do everything I say, and I get inherited to the next and to the next, is because I won. I won the day that I was standing on that field and looking at him like, I need you to agree with me. Okay. That's why I was like, can you talk to me and just agree with me? And he's like, what? What? I'm supposed to love you and blah, 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 blah. But this is a secret. Okay. This is the secret part. Days before, I told Kanani that I like him. And I was like, oh yeah, and I was being really clingy. I usually do that to a guy I want to run away from me. I usually, because guys don't like clingy girls, guys don't like, girls always in their business and stuff like that. So I decided to be all of that to him for a couple days. And I did it on purpose. That I would follow him around like on pet, and and like, talk with the girls and giggle. And then I was sitting, and then this is where, and everybody wouldn't believe me. Okay. I would set him up, And I call everybody, and I said, oh, everybody, we gonna meet after school. We go walk home together. So we all would meet up, and everybody was confused, like, how come we meeting all together, right? And then we start walking, and then you hear him yelling in the background, and I say, and then I tell the girl next to me, I grab her hand, I squeeze them, and I say, girl, showtime. And she goes, what? And I said, showtime. And she's like, what you mean showtime? Like, because she doesn't know what I'm doing to her. And I said, girl, do me a favor, try turn around and tell me who's that. So she turned around and she goes, oh my God, girl, that's Kanani Abadilla. And I said, for real? And I said, you know what? Watch this. Watch this. She goes, why? Watch this. So I turn around and I full throw my flirt on, like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, throw them. And we're like, we grumbling, like, yeah. This time. And the reason why I made the show is because the girls, these bunch of girls that's hovering on that side of me, on my right hand side, I need them to see this. Is because they're the ones that gossip and talk. And once that gossip and talk hit the streets, everybody can believe them. And I just need them to believe it. Okay. So I'm over there like, oh, he's so, and then I go up to one of the girls, okay, and I go, oh my God, you think he's so cute, yeah? You hear what I said? You think he's so cute, yeah? Listen really well. I didn't say I think he cute. I didn't go, oh, you think he really cute, yeah? Oh my God, girl, you think he cute, yeah? So now what the girls see hearing in the mind is, I think this guy cute. You know what I mean? So now these girls are like, wait, are you like, wow, okay. Yeah, he is cute. And then you see the glitter in their eyes when they look at him like, oh yeah, he is cute. Oh yeah, I can see that. Oh my God. And I said over there, oh, take your shirt off. Take your shirt off. Show him off. Show him off. Bro, I had him going. He took his shirt off and all. And I was like, oh, and I was nudging the girl, like, go, girl, check that out, girl. Ooh, girl. You know, and if he was listening to me, this is what I was telling them. I wasn't going, oh, girl, I like that kind of shit. This is what I was saying. I was like, ooh, girl, you know you like that. Girl, you know you think that's sexy. Girl, you know, girl, you like that. Okay, so once I get all the girls to like, yeah, I like him. I like him. Yeah. Once I get that going, we can go to the park. Okay, went to the park, and then I walk up to him, and it was like real super close. And he know I don't stand that close to him, and he was looking at me like, "What you doing standing this close to me?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't know. I just feel like standing right next to you. Like, so what you doing? Hmm? Okay." And we start talking, and he walks away. He was saying the basketball court. I'm like, and I look at the sky, I look at the time. I'm like, okay, I just gotta give it about 5 more minutes. Just flick my hair like this, and then get him to say something. And then he says something, and it's not even funny. Okay, what he told me was, "You pow yet?" And I went, that's so funny. Right? But where the girls are at, far, far away, what they see is his mouth moving. So they think that he's telling me a joke because I went, right? And then so I'm synchron was set in steel already. The girl that was jealous, the girl I would nudge and doing all that stuff too, and fall in love with him. She was obsessed with him. Exactly what I needed. That night, I was on the phone line with them, and I heard her say, I think Samantha likes Kanani. And I was like, cha-ching, cha-ching. So I told my other girlfriend, brah, go call Kanani and tell him, just listen to, don't say nothing, just listen to him on mute. Just listen to him. So they go, okay. They let me know that Kanani's on the phone. I go to my friend's house. I stay on their phone. So they don't know I stay on the line. So I was sitting at that person's house, listening to the girl talk about me all in love with Kanani Abadilla. Like, oh, did you see what she did? She was doing this and she was doing that. Oh, she was hanging all over him, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, okay, watch this. So I said, no, watch this. And because the person that was with me was like, girl, you like me? Let them know that you listen. He said, no, tell them nothing. And then they was like, okay. So, and I said, because I was like, nah, let them go. Let them think about him. So I get up and I walk out the door, be nice. Like, thank you for having me over. I had fun. And I left and I walked home by myself. And I go sleep, everything like that. The next morning, we go to school. Bruh, he's fucking throwing one tantrum. Like, why the fuck you think I like you? I would never, da 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 da. He started acting mental, yeah. But then, the reason why I had a smirk on my face or I was smiling at him when he was telling me that is because I couldn't hold back what I knew. Like, I was trying to hold back what I done to him. Yeah. But I couldn't help it, right? Because this is the last day. I got to pretend to like him. Because while he's being mean to me, this is going to make him set in stone. Because when a guy is mean to a girl and the girl's still trying to be nice and chase after him and, cater after him, people will see that. See, she like him. Look, this and that, right? So I ended up doing that. And he falls straight into it. My father called me and says, you get a couple more hours. You don't get him to agree, you do it my way. And I said, whatever. No worry. I told you what time he gonna say them and what day he gonna say them. Is it the time and day? My father said, no, it's not the time or the day. It's the day, but not the time. I said, good. I'll call you when it's done. So my father gets off the phone with me, everything like that. So that was my hour. I was dwindling to like 3 hours, like 3 to 2 hours. And I was kind of worried too, because I was like, how come he's not showing signs to argue with me? Yeah, like at this point, a guy will get frustrated. He's tired. I knew Kanani Abadilla. He would get tired of listening to all these girls telling him all this kind of stuff. He feels embarrassed and he think I ugly and I the worst girl in the world and this and that, blah, blah, blah. So it could eat him up inside. But I was telling myself, what is taking him so long? Because I really believe that he would have done it a lot sooner. So I ended up pushing it a lot more. After school, I sat really close to him at the playground and wanted to see what he would do, right? And he wasn't playing along. And I was like, So I thought he figured it out. No, for real. I stood up and walked off the playground and walked to the yellow pole, really mad to catch my breath because I thought somebody ratted me out. Someone told him what I'm doing. But I was like, I never tell anybody except for my dad. So I ended up calling my dad. And I was in the hallway, the walkway, and I was telling my father, I was telling my master, hey, you know what? You told him anything? You told him anything and this and that, blah blah. And he's like, no. But then I was a lie. My father was trying to cheat. My father told Kanani that he was supposed to like me or whatever, right? But then I think real quick. I was like, I can use that against him. I will make him believe that that wasn't his choice. And I'm the worst choice that he can have. Because I have to think really, really fast. I only have a couple more hours and I need this boy to speak. And he's not talking. He's not even doing half of the things that what they would usually do. Like something had a hiccup somewhere around the line. So I found the hiccup. I used the hiccup against him again. So that's how come he knew. So I used that against him. I said, you like be with somebody like me? And this and that, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'll never like be with somebody like you. And I was like, so you will never love me. He said, I will never love you. So we had an agreement that we agree for you to never love me. And he's like, yes. And I said, well, I will never love you. Do you agree that for me and you to never love each other? And he said, yeah, I will never fucking love you. I agree that we'll never fucking love each other. I don't never like fucking be with you. I like my own choice. I like choose who I like be with, blah, blah, blah. So see right there. That's how I knew the hiccup came from my father. The hiccup came from my father. So I used that against my father. I said, no, lie to me. So after, I was standing there saying that I'm just waiting to this be done. You done yet? Like I constantly say, you done yet? You done yet? Because I accept it. I accept, you accept, I'm done. I'm done. I accept, I'm good. No, I accept. That they couldn't do anything about it. Then my dad did call and said, we heard full acceptance. And I said, keyword never. He said, we heard never. And I said, okay. That's when he was saying that I was also breaking other protocols and other rules and this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up following my protocols, but as long as I did not need to love him or be with him, right? So they said, you young, so yeah. But when you come 11 years old, no cry. I didn't understand what my father meant when I come 11. Until I came 11 and I hit 12 years old. Because the transition from 11 to 12 is when a lot of that mishap would happen again. And my father asked me for a second try. Meaning that my father believed that I tricked him on a deal because I knew, but Kanani didn't know. And I said, Kanani did know. And they said he only knew at the ending. I said, it doesn't matter. He knew when he made the agreement. As long as he was at understanding at the time he made the agreement stands. Verbal agreement is a legal agreement. Because I even told my father that you are forgetting something. I even told him, would you ever marry me? So technically, I was the first one to ask Kanani Abadilla to marry me when I was a little girl. And he said, I would never marry you. Never. So I told my father, see, I asked him. He said never. So I do not ever need to ask him to marry me ever again. And my father said, that's correct. You don't need to ever ask him to marry you ever again. The only way it's possible now, he has to ask me. But I need to accept it. But I need not to, I cannot say yes. That doesn't count. I have to say, I will take him. I do. That's the word. That's the correct words. But I did not say that. So, and I was never asked in person. It has to be from him himself. So, if as long as it's not him, I can say I do. I can say whatever I like. It specifically has to be him, like how I did it. He has to do it like how I did it. I was in person in front, like, believe me, I was standing in front of him and I even took a knee. I took a knee and I asked him to marry me. And he told me he'll never marry me. And I stood up and I said, I said my name, I, Samantha Yopa, accepts your no and never as a voluntary and understandable answer from you, Kanani Abadilla, to me, that you are stable and forevermore uphold over your oath to never marry me. So he was like, and he agreed. My father had a fit for days. Because my father started sending me on missions that he wanted me to die. Because he was mad for days, trying to figure out how to fix this, because he cannot fix it, because Kanani Abadilla will forever have to uphold his oath. And his oath was accepted by me and him at a full understanding, never to marry or never to love each other and never extend out. Because my father is forced to have me inherit everything. Is forced because I won by all of this, by the deals. And one of the main reasons I won is because Kanani Abadilla told me no. And I told my father, if Kanani Abadilla tell me no, I own your whole company, all your money, all your riches, and all your power. And I am inherited to the next to take over your power field. I am an inherited spoiled brat. And meaning that when you inherited me, you gonna spoil me and you gonna do whatever I say. But then, so that's what it is. You inherit me. So, my father didn't know I was gonna live this long, so he didn't even think I was gonna be inherited to anybody else. But inheritance means that if the next person wants that person, you cannot kill them either. So as I know of, I have value still. So either which way. Anyways, so and the only loophole is actually for everything to go back to line. Like meaning there's no death, there's no wars, and it will have chance it to go better. But that is all leaned on him. It's all leaned on Kanani Abadilla now. Like we have to see how he inspires the world. We got to see how Kanani Abadilla would talk out in public, in the public to politics, how he would do it. Because my greatest wish was to actually die and to leave this world and never exist. Because if I never exist and my soul stays with me and never gets recycled, there'll never be a good soul ever to return. And never to inspire good or hope or love ever again. And be willing to be brave enough to go through the suffering, to inspire more and more people to live through the suffering to get what we need to. The Dark Ages was the Dark Ages, I told everybody. But watch when the Chaos Age come. You gonna wish you was living in the Dark Ages. Mostly at the time of chaos. And I think that's when I started predicting in court, and I know I did. And I know that's why I'm saying this. And that's why I'm making these videos. I know I predicted in court. I know I said these things in court. I know what was said. But I'm sick and tired of people telling me I'm a liar, because when they go look them up, I believe them now. They still haven't made the minutes. They still never posted the videos. I haven't even reached the news. My case should have reached the news, or a reporter should have been at least interested in it. But then there's nothing. There's no reporter. There's no journalist. There's no paparazzis. There's no news. There's, like me, I'm using the news against all that shit that they're using about the frauds and all this and stuff. And you know what I mean? Who talking about tax frauds? That's Donald Trump. Because Trump Tower, the deals that he made with China, he never paid any taxes on that. And you gotta pay so many taxes on any deals that's between the United States of America and through another country. There's taxes on that. And he never once paid taxes on that. And he never once gave his 20% or his 10% to America for the refunding of the replenishing of the recycling of the finances here in America. If the president and the main people not doing the correct recycling of the money, how our system was created and how our laws was created to recycle the finances, why do you think we in debt? If they actually follow the rules of the financing way of the American, the democracy and the Constitution, and how the taxes was delegated, and decided and determined at that time, that would work. And it still works now. But I see more fraud with Donald Trump's taxes than Hunter's taxes. I actually looked through it, and it's weird. Hunter is not hiding nothing. Usually people that is frauding would hide. Like, for an example, Donald Trump is hiding his deals between China and him with his taxes and his business deals, and did not pay any bills or taxes through his companies. And how I know this is because he went bankruptcy, and China's having a cahoots with Donald Trump about going bankruptcy, but nobody can talk about bankruptcy is because bankruptcy is closed case. But China had to suck finger and lose money, and China does not like that they lost money. So that's how the China flu or the China pledge became to be. And that's the reason why I'm bringing that all back up. Like, if you're going to talk about major fraud, that's your major tax fraud. He was the president of the United States using the state money and federal money that was our taxes, and they're acting like only rich people pay taxes. No, look at all those records. Look at IRS. No rich person pay taxes because every rich person claims donations. They donated that money. They did this with that. And then they get that and they get double back. And so whatever money that they could not claim gonna come back from their bonuses in their taxes. So if you look at it, no rich person ever paid taxes. So for them to uphold that they taxpayers, that's a lie. That's a lie. They are not taxpayers because every year they get the money back and they get the reimbursements back during the year. In the year, after 3 months of their donation, they get their reimbursed back. After 6 months after the donation, they get they reimbursed back. And then they get their big lump sum reimbursement back after when they file for their taxes. So it's like we keep rewarding and rewarding the rich. When are we going to reward the middle class people? When are we going to reward the real people at the minimum jobs that really paying for their taxes? And when they go and sign up for their taxes, go check those people. Those people have to pay $300 something, and then they get their taxes. Anybody that puts down a certain lump sum out of your taxes because you got to pay fees and stuff like that, you the one paying for the taxes. Look at all those rich people. They do not pay any fees or anything. It's all waived because of their donation. And they own churches. They own businesses that donate. As long as you own a business that donates or gives up their MOS or gives food away, blah, 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 they will be waived of their fees and they will get their taxes back. So they're not paid, meaning that they're not giving anything. The reason why I know this is because I did my taxes for a couple years, and I gave the taxes. I gave the HR $300 to $400 something, and I never received it back. Never got it back. But when I started to claim, I went to the tax return place, and I learned how to do them correctly. And I found out that all those years that I was only getting $3,000, I was supposed to be getting $30,000. They was missing a zero. So when IRS told me I owed them money because they red flagged me, when IRS told me that year that everybody was owing back IRS, I got the letter too. I fought them back. And then they found out that they owe me money. Do you know what the IRS did? The IRS closed the case and went disappeared. When they found out that they owe me money, the IRS would magically disappear. Had lawyers on lawyers backing them up, saying that it was the best of their knowledge, that's what they could do, blah, 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 blah. But when they thought I was supposed to pay, they was going after me with the same claims. All I was doing was going back at IRS with the same claims. That they were saying that I was receiving too much money, blah, blah, blah. But I would go back and say that I never received the correct amount. and I need it to be fixed, and I demand to get the fixed amount compensation. Fixed amount compensation means that once they fix them, I want the whole total. Meaning that whatever money I got them. But that's going to be included in the total too. So that means I want a double payment of what I got plus the extra that I did not get. Because this is how much I should have got that on that day. So that's what I want. But my rights, that's exactly what I'm supposed to get. So in court on 11/17/2020, the judge agreed. Yeah, that's true. And I said, see, the IRS owe me money. The IRS owe me money. And over the years, right now, IRS owes me millions, billions of dollars because of all the taxes and the tax fees they took from me. And because I never claimed, I could not claim them because of IRS's false fraudulent claims. When add fees on fees, and that means I get that money now. The money that they was charging me now and flip, and that's the money that they owe me. The sum total that they was charging me with, now I'm charging them with that subtotal. I said, you see the subtotal they wanted from me? That's the same subtotal I want from them. You see all the lists that they didn't write down? That's why. That's my list of why they owe me money. Because that's my money. So I'm pissed right now because I have no minutes to take the eviction letter to the courts. Because meaning if I go to the police station right now and they pull them up, they're gonna tell me, ma'am, I don't see nothing. And they're not lying because I just didn't look them up. I showed you guys. The cops are not lying. Now the cops are not lying. There are no minutes of what I am stating. There's no evidence of what I'm stating right now, except that I really did have a court that day. This is the proof of the existence of what happened that day. But I cannot give you word for word on paper or provision. All I can give you is proof that this exists. And what I say is the legal binding words. Because I'm giving you when the proof of existence that this court case would happen. And I'm proving to you, because we're going to 3C, that's criminal court, that I made my charges. I made my claims and my charges against everybody. Under oath. Under oath. I'm under oath right now. And so are all them. So they have to obey the plea agreement, or I have full rights in January 27th to claim everything. Even against Jessa Lee, my new caseworker. Because she's the one that's supposed to, Jessa Lee from Whole Services Agency is responsible to remove me from my PTSD, meaning that the courts consider this house a provoke to my PTSD. It's a harassment against my disability because it provokes my PTSD. And my PTSD has physical reaction. And it's against the law to discriminate me and imprison me in any way in a psycho house or prison or jail and take away my freedom because of my disability. Because we have records that I am capable to be in a civilian world as long as you do not take away my medication. As long as I'm on the medication and I'm in a safe facility to take my medication, protected by my privacy of my home. So if I start lashing out and start screaming my head off like some schizophrenic old lady, because I'm schizophrenic, because schizophrenic come from head damages, and I had too much concussions and too much comas. That was because of being hit in the head, that it became, long term. Yeah. So, and the reason why I can say long term is because I have histories and histories, police records, medical records to prove that I've been in those type of situations, and my mind have some kind of defaults I I when I go through some emotional stages. Like when I start to remember certain PTSD, past memories. Because like I told them, it's not the past, it's present. It's still ongoing and it's still continuing. Because proof by the eviction letter, that's still an abuse. Because a criminal is doing wrong, is doing a crime against me for breaking contracts, legal binding contracts of agreements, legal binding. And then she tried to convince me, Jessie Lee was trying to convince me that landlords can do this and do that. And I said, no, not if you have a contract that says word for word. And I have a contract for word because the HUD contract that you can find online at the HUD website details of what their contract looks like. Word for word, the responsibility of the tenant, responsibility of the landlord, and the responsibility of the agency that is helping fund this thing. I had to again today show the lady on the lease that is upheld and standard by the HUD guidelines. And I told her I can show you the HUD guidelines for word online on the computer right now. And we can read them together if you like. And I'm going to record them while I read you all the laws and all the written rules that's stated as the HUD guideline rules. So no, David has no right to evict me before my last day, because it's unfixed to month. But if David wants to use good cause that he live here, I said, in court, he gonna have to wait until after March. He can move in here on March 2nd. He can move into this house March 2nd. The judge told me, oh, so he can move there March 2nd. I said, yeah, he can move there March 2nd. Because on March 1st is the last day of my 1 year. And during the first year, he can use good cause. But after the 1 year, he can use good cause. And after the 1 year of good cause, that on this contract states that's what? March 2nd. So he can give me the notice before March 2nd so I can prepare so he can move in on March 2nd. And I told him in 45 days, that means my eviction notice should have been given to me in January. And the dates should say today, blah, 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 40 days prior to March 1st, I would like you to vacate, the premises. I would like you to leave. Because evicting somebody causes you a very hard time to get a house or to rent out a place. So that's the reason why I took this as a threat. Mostly now that everybody having hard time, because in front of the police officers, they said terminate. Yeah, terminate. And I said, you are not allowed to terminate shit. I reject, I do not accept, I do not allow no type of termination. I demand that this contract of agreement be upheld and be forced by the court of law. Be forced and full effect by the court of law. I demanded the court of law to force it. That's the reason why I'm upset, because if I could get the minutes or the video, it will specifically tell you I demanded. So everything that Jessie Lee from Hope Services and Hope Services and all of them doing is criminal. They're doing wrong. They're wrong. They're wrongdoing against me. So they're doing crimes against me. So they're criminals. And I warned her again downstairs. I know what I demanded. I know what I said. And if you're going to force me, I'm going to go to court on January 1st, in criminal court. I'm going to demand it all. I'm going to demand investigation. I'm going to demand it all. And I want all my paperwork. And I don't like no emails. I don't like pictures. Because David said that those emails you gave me was fraudulent. Because I showed them the email. They told me email not acceptable. Okay? So, Jessie Lee said me the same thing again. Again. That was not accepted in the court of law. This. Because David said that Hope Services forged this whole letter. David said that Hope Services agency made this letter, digital print his name on there to harass me. So I was like, okay, what a goddamn is that letter that he said he was going to send me? Because it says November 1st. And we had one court November 17th. And I was saying, I never get nothing. I never get nothing. November 17th. Where is it? And I told them straight, if I can prove that I never get them on November 1st, like he so said, and I can prove that I never get no notice before November 17th from David himself, that statement right there, here in court, makes him what? He doing wrong against me, and doing wrong is a crime. So he's doing crimes against me right here in court, on the phone with you. So I charging him, and I want you to convict him as a criminal. Criminal. Now I know why I still never get no paperwork from no attorney, no nothing. Because when I tell them I get one case, they go look them up. They tell me I'm lying. Now I don't know what to do. Now I got to go court on January 7th or January 27th of 2020 or 2021 at 3 o'clock. Or I'm going to go early, 8 o'clock maybe, just to make sure. And see how it goes. You know what I mean? Because now I'll go to the courthouse myself and demand them again. Because if I kind of get them offline, right? There is another process I can go through to receive them. But then that's more in person and I gotta pay for it. Do you know that's $50? That's why I was mad, because I wanted it for free. And obviously, I did not get it for free.